Soul Garden.
Hello, officers, Scorpios, and welcome back to Soul Horoscope's weekly update. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your host to the universe. So nice to see you again. Couple announcements. The Moon Goddess Monthlies are finally available for immediate download at soulmart.me. These are created by Carolyn Nagel, who has crafted them around your moon sign. Now, if you don't know your moon sign, you can text Moon Goddess to 96362, and she'll get back to you in a couple of days. But those who do, come on down to soulmart.me. They're available for download, and they predict the next month of emotion. Okay, these are great. She's been working on these forever. I'm excited. And if you'd like to go through the Artist's Shui, which is a quick tour through the Artist's Way, Nikki Bright has uploaded some new video answering questions and an open house that happened last week. So come on down to soulmart.me. There's also a payment plan if you're serious about your inner Shui. Now, we are at a precarious moment, a very powerful moment, especially for the Scorpios. This is a wrap-up of a 2.5-year karmic transit where Scorpios have been facing their karma. All right, karma, basically, in a very simple way, is past life memory. Because we don't forget our past lives entirely, and because our subconscious stores our past life wounds, and you don't have to believe in past lives, you could say childhood, because our childhood is the recreation of those past life wounds. It doesn't really matter if you believe in past lives or not. Your childhood imprints, and that's what we're getting, is we're clearing out your childhood imprints. It's taken 2.5 years to just see what they are and be able to face them, right? So this is a powerful week, particularly this week. We're working in Libra, which is the giving and receiving, and for Scorpios, this all happens in the psychic realm. So there are 3 chapters. Now, in the very beginning, you were facing your fears, which are your blocks to your higher self, and these we call the weeds of your soul garden. These are the issues that turn into self-sabotage all the time, that go back to childhood and beyond. And once you get a grapple of your fears and weeds and start to clear them, now you begin to open up your intuition and your psychic state of awareness, and you begin to download or receive intuitive hunches from places that allows you to see your entire life in new perspectives. The perspective is from your multi-lifetime perspective, okay? So you really see beyond just this life, and you see this life as a repeat of many lives. And if you don't see it in that way, you feel it that way. This week, we're going to wrap up and crystallize your intuition, which is a commitment to an inner faith. It's like, hey, what I'm feeling is real, and I'm going to count on what I feel now. And as soon as you can commit to your intuitive psychic connection, then you begin to feel the master shui of faith. You begin to feel faith. And once you feel faith, it's a whole lot different than deciding whether or not you should have faith. So we come back and overlap on Sunday. Mercury rules the day. It's a cloudy day. You are pensive. You are self-reflective. Sunday is a self-reflective day. You're really processing issues of inner faith and trust. And the obstacle of Sunday is your own mind. You need to innovate past your normal way of thinking in order to see the light. Now, planetarily, that yod I brought up at the end of last week's horoscopes is still in effect. This yod combines 2 areas of your consciousness. On the one hand, your ego, which is now starting to feel strong with Mercury and Scorpio. On the other, Venus and Virgo, you are feeling your place in the world. So feeling your place in the world and knowing how strong you are, that is what allows you to innovate your daily reality, to get you through the moment, to get you through the crap, right? So innovate past your crap because you feel your place in the world and you feel your strength. The other interesting part, I'll wait for that to move up there. Then on Monday, Venus rules the day on Monday, but it gets kind of cloudy for you. It's like cloudy and even more pensive. But Venus does mean that giving and receiving is restored. I think for you this means if there was any lack of doubt or moments of no faith, you restore this faith on Monday. You're starting to feel that on the inside. Planetarily, I just wanted to point out that Mars is in Sag. And what this means is that aggressive masculine testosterone part of you is really ready to bet on yourself, to put into action what you're worth, to make what you're worth. So you're hungry for what you're worth, and that's an important thing to kind of use as your horse and train to pull you forward. That's what Mars is all about. It's a part of us that we get cocky about or egotistical about, but that pulls us out of the mud in the other areas. So it's fine to feel what you're worth and use that as your strength. Then on Tuesday, it's sunny, but you are on the ball, okay, in so many ways. Now, Neptune rules the day, so intuition is king or queen. So listen to your higher self, especially now that you've been clearing out the weeds in your soul garden and you have hopefully some faith in that part of you. But it's your career that's really, I think, making you feel amazing. Let's look at the planets. We've got a soul pyramid of fire. That's a passionate pyramid. And for Scorpios, this unites your light between how you're feeling your career come together and this new value, wanting to push forward that value structure I just talked about yesterday with Mars. And then over here, your life is changing. So on Tuesday, you're feeling your life change, mostly because you are feeling your career legacy and you're feeling what you're worth, and allow yourself to surrender to those parts of yourself by all means. Also, this trine comes to a final head now. Jupiter's been putting so much pressure on Scorpios to get comfortable with new boundaries, which Scorpios don't want to do because you've been burned 1,000 times, so you figure your boundaries are perfect. No one should, ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, they are broke because you're not happy. So you are keeping yourself from happiness somewhere in this boundary structure. But Jupiter has retrograded, which means enough with the boundary lessons for a while, and this trines up to the sun in Libra. So you're starting to find a synergy between where boundaries are and building that inner faith. That's the other shift that happens on Tuesday. And then this trine from Venus Virgo up to Pluto in Capricorn. Venus in Virgo is a part of you that kind of knows where you belong in the world. You're pretty clear on where you belong. You're pretty clear on where the world needs you. I don't think there's any doubt about you knowing where the world needs you. But finally, I think that world needing you gives you a peace of mind. It's, knowing that the world needs you gives you a peace of mind that also is kind of a locomotive that can pull you out of the mud. So a lot of shifting going on Tuesday. Then Wednesday, sunny, quite driven. Saturn rules the day, so you're going to decide. In your case, what you're deciding is this month's topic. Deciding why or where you have faith in yourself. Where's that psychic connection? Where's that part in you that you can decide, hey, once and for all, that part has never let me down. I decide to have faith in that part of me. That's what this whole 2.5 years is really about. And even for those of you who've been going over all the wounds in your life, which a lot of my Scorpio friends have, and that's all part of the transit, but what it all comes down to is you made it. Therefore, you can have faith, right? So Wednesday is, I think, that turning point for the Scorpions. And the planets, I just want to point out, are bringing Mercury into it. Notice Mercury at 8 degrees, the Sun at 17. What this says is, this is a full lineup of planets where you're deciding, I'm going to trust this part of me. And then Mercury up there says your ego is in alignment with that. So your ego has been instructed right away to carry out those. In other words, you're only going to strike if your gut tells you to. Okay, that's kind of limiting. And the moon in Leo means you're feeling your power in career. So it's a feeling of your power in career all the way up to Mars pushing for that value. I mean, it's a huge spectrum of onward, and I think it's kind of cool. Then on Thursday, action rules the day, Mars rules the day, so it's time to take action. Probably you're going after money or wanting money, but that's because Mars is leading that train of horses, remember, in the house of soul capital. But you're very career focused with the moon in the late stages of Leo, and so it's career, money, moving forward, and this is the power to move forward out of your weeds and into a faith-based life, a faith-based inner life. So if you have anxiety, it's because you are not finding your faith. You're not channeling it correctly. And again, this whole lineup where you're feeling your career, feeling your place in the world, you're feeling your new faith, you're feeling your ego light up, and you're acting on those ego decisions. And then Mars, you're raising your capital. So a big, this is the universe now saying heave-ho, for those who have been doing their soul work up until now. Then it's Friday, and on Friday it's Love Fest Day, so it's going to be a groovy, loving, awesome Friday. Love Fest Day is the best day of the month to restore love and balance in your life and to tell everyone you love that you love them. The moon is in Virgo during this day, so for you it's a very sunny and super social day. And Mother Earth rules the day, which grounds everything and starts to manifest. So you're squatting on this new interfaith territory, and because Mother Earth rules the day, that squatting is beginning to dry like concrete. So this faith you've worked on so long begins to dry on Friday, and and that's the beginning. Now looking at the planets, Love Fest Day, if you don't know, is when the moon crosses over Venus. Venus is the giving and receiving. It's kind of like the lungs of the solar system. And so the moon goes away from the lungs and comes back to the lungs. The moon is our emotion, so our emotions can breathe. Now, in your case, you are feeling your role in society. You are feeling where you belong. And that feeling of where you belong really anchors your reality for you because you are so needed and you feel that belonging. Remember, that also trines in up to that Pluto and Capricorn, so it's clear of mind. You can get out of your rhetoric in your head because you can feel the belonging. You're seeing hope, And the other thing that's important is this square comes to a final head, perhaps from the belonging. Now, Jupiter in Gemini has been the part of you afraid to make boundary changes, afraid of screwing up, afraid of letting the big bad wolf back in, all of those things. But I think that your belonging in the world allows you to step away from your reluctance or fear to change your boundaries. So it's a big day for that, I think, on Friday, on Love Fest Day. Then on Saturday, we move into Master Shui. We're into 20 degrees. Now it's now time to become passionate about your faith, or time to allow your emotions to carry on this faith you have decided intellectually. So up until now, you've only prepared 2/3 of the soul for this leap in faith. This is the final third, or 10 degrees, which is getting your emotions and passion behind your inner faith, which of course all of our spiritual power comes from when we do. Now, the only thing I want to point out is that we are on countdown to Lightcast Day, which is the new moon and the most powerful day of the month to manifest all of this, which will be on Monday. So no matter how you're feeling, we are ramping up. Do not put too much pressure on yourself. Then on the overlap Fun Day Sunday, where I overlap the scopes in case I go late, it's a Jupiter ruled day and the moon moves into Libra, so it gets very cloudy, but I think you are content. Jupiter is always a positive spin, feels very good, and the moon is in Libra, and if you've done your soul work, I mean, you are starting to feel, I think, the light at the end of the tunnel, literally. Now, the one thing that's super interesting about Sunday, as you start to feel the light at the end of the tunnel, here's maybe why. Saturn is 1 degree on Sunday. So now, boom, Saturn is behind Scorpio. What does that mean? That means God has just given you a machete called Saturn. And this machete has been on the inside of you, cutting the weeds and cutting the fears. But now it has been put into your ego's hands. So Lord God have mercy on the earth. Scorpios have just been empowered to make some major cuts and decisions in their life and to use their ego at free will. The only thing you should second guess is if you haven't done the interfaith thing. Because if you aren't going to ask God before you swing that machete, you're going to have some major karma around your birthday. So please connect to God universe. Venus at a very volatile 13 degree says that on this same Sunday, which is where you're starting to feel that faith, you're also seeing a new reality in society. So that's starting to change right in front of your eyes. And then Saturn, of course, in Scorpio is you're also feeling erect with your ability to kick some butt if you have to. That's the best way to put it. All right, my Scorpios. Now remember, we got so much. If you're down in the garden, we've got free office hours Monday through Friday. We've got great stuff for less than $4 or $5 to download at soulmart.me. We've got readings. We've got so much. So no excuses not to graduate this transit. I'll be back in 7 days with more. Until then, live, love, be. What does it take to find love these days? What's your greatest strengths? How do you love? I'll tell you all the nuances about you dating, what kind of gifts you want, what kind of marriage you want, what kind of person you want to live with and don't want to live with, and of course how you love, how you lust, what you're drawn after, who chases you, and your greatest lesson, which is often a weakness. Your birthday love and lust report has that answer. We'll reveal your secrets on video at secretsofbirthdays.com.